Welcome to the most powerful video you'll ever watch. Not because it has fancy words or magic tricks, but because this video is about you and the battle inside your own mind. Let me ask you, have you ever felt like your brain is working against you? Like you're trying to be positive, but your mind keeps dragging you back into pain, fear, or regret? Have you ever smiled in front of everyone while screaming inside your head? Have you ever laid in bed at night, thinking the same painful thoughts again and again, and you whisper to yourself, "Why can't I just stop thinking like this? Why do I always feel so low even when everything seems fine? What's wrong with me?" Let me tell you the truth. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're not crazy. But the way you were taught to think, that's broken. That's the enemy. That's what we will fix. This video is going to show you how to stop negative thoughts and feelings forever. And we won't do it by reading motivational quotes. We'll do it by understanding the mind, step by step. We'll break the old beliefs. We'll replace the lies in your head with powerful truths. And we'll give you the tools to take control. For the first time in your life, you won't just understand how to stop negativity. You'll also understand how your mind works, how to reprogram your emotions, and how to build a new version of yourself, starting today. And yes, if you're learning English, this video will help you too, because everything is explained in simple, powerful English, using real examples and emotional storytelling. You'll not only grow stronger, you'll grow smarter in English too. So take a deep breath, because what you're about to hear might just be the thing your soul has been waiting for all your life. Stage 1. Understand where negative thoughts come from. Most people try to fight their negative thoughts. They say things like, "I just need to stop thinking. I should be stronger. I should be happy." But they're fighting the wrong battle. You see, negative thoughts are not random. They don't come from the outside world. They come from inside you, from a place called the subconscious mind. And here's the shocking truth. 95% of your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are controlled by your subconscious mind. That means you are only truly conscious for 5% of your day. Let me explain. What is the subconscious mind? Your subconscious is like a recording machine. From the moment you were a child, it recorded everything. The way your parents talked to you, the way your teacher reacted when you made a mistake, the way people treated you when you failed, the fear in your mother's eyes when there was no money, the pain of being laughed at, ignored, or rejected. All of it was recorded, silently, without permission. And now, when you grow up, those recordings become your thoughts. So when you say, "I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. I'll never be successful. Nobody really loves me," that's not really you speaking. That's your subconscious replaying old memories. Example. Let me tell you about Daniel. He's 26, smart, kind, funny. But every time he starts something new, a job, a relationship, a project, he quits. Why? Because every time something goes wrong, a voice in his head says, "You're just a failure. Why even try? You'll embarrass yourself again. You're not made for this." And Daniel believes that voice. But here's what Daniel doesn't remember. When he was 9 years old, he got up in front of his class to present a school project. He was nervous. His voice was shaking. And when he accidentally read a word wrong, the whole class laughed. Even the teacher smiled. Daniel went home crying that day. He didn't tell anyone. But that moment became a permanent scar in his subconscious mind. That scar became a voice. And that voice became a belief. And that belief controlled his life. That's what negative thoughts are. They're old pain disguised as truth. So, what can you do? You don't fight negative thoughts like enemies. You observe them like detectives. Next time you think, "I'm not good enough," stop and ask, where did this thought come from? Who made me believe this? What is this memory connected to? Because once you understand the source, the thought starts to lose its power. Your first mission. Tonight, take 10 minutes. Sit quietly. And write this question at the top of a page. What are the 3 negative thoughts I think the most? And for each one, ask, where did this come from? Who taught me this? You'll be shocked at what you discover. You'll realize that most of your negative thinking didn't come from you. It came from someone else. And it's been living inside you rent-free. But not anymore. Because the moment you see the lie, you stop living inside it. You cannot fix your mind unless you understand it. You cannot silence your thoughts unless you trace their roots. And once you know that 95% of your thinking is just programming, you finally understand that you are not your thoughts. You are the one who can rewrite them. Stage 2. The invisible loops that trap you. You've heard people say, "I'm trying to be positive. I'm journaling. I'm doing affirmations." But still, they feel low. They feel like they're stuck in the same place no matter how hard they try. Same emotions, same pain, same anxiety. And they ask, why do I feel like I keep going in circles? Because they are. Welcome to the loop, the invisible mental trap that's been running your life behind the scenes. What is a mental loop? A mental loop is a pattern of thinking that feeds itself. It's like a song stuck in your head. No matter what you do, it comes back. You try to ignore it. It gets louder. You try to fight it. It fights harder. Let's understand the loop. Trigger. Something small happens. You get ignored. You make a mistake. You see someone else doing better. It triggers a familiar emotion: insecurity, fear, guilt. Thought. Your mind pulls up an old belief. I'm not good enough. They don't care about me. I always mess things up. Emotion. You feel pain, again. You feel shame. You feel anger. You feel fear. Reaction. You do something negative. You isolate. You overthink. You scroll endlessly. You eat junk. You cry quietly. Guilt and shame. You feel worse. Why did I react like that again? Why can't I control myself? And now, you feel even weaker. That feeling becomes the new trigger. And the loop starts again. You wake up, already tired. You open social media, already comparing. You make one small mistake. And suddenly your whole day feels ruined. You feel guilty for being negative. You feel weak for being sad. You feel ashamed for not healing. And the worst part? The more you try to escape the loop, the tighter it pulls you in, because you're not escaping. You're resisting, and what you resist persists. Let me tell you about Amira, a 24-year-old university student. Bright, beautiful soul. But she was trapped in the darkest loop you can imagine. Here's what her day looked like. Wake up and look in the mirror. My face looks tired. Why am I so ugly? Go to university and see others laughing together. Why don't I have friends like that? Maybe I'm just not likable. Try to focus in class, but one small mistake in front of others. Great, now they think I'm stupid. Go home, open Instagram. She's so pretty, she's so confident. Look at her boyfriend. Lay in bed at night and cry, but quietly, so no one knows. And here's what's tragic. None of these things were real threats. They were mental traps. But Amira's loop was so tight she didn't even realize it was a loop. She thought it was reality. The loop makes you believe that the pain is your fault. It makes you feel ashamed of being emotional, guilty for feeling broken, weak for needing help. So instead of escaping the loop, you build a home inside it. You start saying, "This is just who I am. I'm just a negative person. I'll always be like this." And that is how people stay stuck for years. You don't break a loop by fighting the thought. You break the loop by breaking the pattern. That means interrupting the cycle at the weakest point. So what's the weakest point? The reaction. Let me explain. You can't always control the trigger. You can't always stop the thought. You can't immediately change the emotion. But you can always choose your reaction. Let's go back to Amira. She kept reacting to her thoughts with tears and scrolling. One day she learned something simple from a therapist. When the thought comes, don't respond, don't feed it. Just say, interesting thought, and walk away. So the next morning, when she looked in the mirror and the voice said, "You look terrible," she didn't cry, she didn't argue, she didn't say anything. She smiled, a fake one at first, and whispered, interesting thought. She made a cup of tea. She played one happy song. She wore earrings. She went to class and made eye contact with someone. She said, "Hi." That day, the loop broke. Not fully, not forever, but for that moment, she won. And one moment of winning creates another. Tonight, write this down. What is one loop I live inside every day? What's the trigger? What's the thought? What's the emotion? What's the reaction? Then write one thing you'll do differently next time the trigger comes. Something small, something kind, something real. It can be this simple. Instead of hiding, I'll talk to one person. Instead of scrolling, I'll walk outside. Instead of saying I'm a failure, I'll say I'm learning. Because even a tiny interruption breaks the machine. You're not weak. You're not lazy. You're not doomed. You're just trapped in a pattern, a loop you didn't even realize existed. But now, you know. And knowing is power. Because when you can see the loop, you can step out of it. Stage 3. Stop feeding the enemy inside. Most people are trying to stop negative thoughts, while at the same time, they're feeding the very things that create them. It's like drinking poison every morning and wondering why you feel sick all day. Let me say this clearly. You cannot heal your mind if you keep feeding it junk. You cannot stop negativity if your lifestyle is designed to create it. This is the stage where we clean the soil, because no seed of happiness can grow in polluted ground. Let's break it down. Imagine your mind is a beautiful open garden. Whatever you plant there grows. Whatever you water becomes stronger. Whatever you allow in becomes part of your reality. So now ask yourself, what are you planting every morning? What are you watering with your thoughts and attention? What kind of mental garbage are you leaving in your garden? If all you feed your mind is fear-based news, toxic social media, fake perfection, drama videos, gossip reels, sad love songs, dark, depressive thoughts, then what do you expect your mind to produce? Joy? Peace? Motivation? Impossible. You're asking your mind to grow flowers in toxic soil. Let me show you a metaphor that will hit you hard. Imagine there's a room with a giant black mirror on the wall. And every morning you go into this room and stand in front of that mirror. But here's the catch. This mirror doesn't show your real face. It shows your biggest insecurity. It magnifies your worst fear. It whispers your deepest pain. You still look into it. Every morning, every night. You let that mirror define how you feel. And you never question it. That mirror is your phone. That mirror is the reel that says, you're not successful. The photo that says, you're not pretty enough. The video that says, you're behind in life. The comment section that says, you'll never make it. And the worst part? You chose to look into it. You chose to keep that mirror in your pocket, next to your pillow, inside your life. And you wonder why your mind feels broken. It's because you've been feeding the enemy inside. With your time, your energy, your attention. The three main ways people feed negativity without realizing. 1. Information overload, digital poison. You scroll for 2 hours and remember nothing. But your brain remembers everything. Even if you say, I'm just watching for fun. I don't take it seriously. Your subconscious is recording, her face is perfect, mine isn't. He's successful, I'm behind. That couple looks happy, I'm lonely. That guy bought a new car, I'm broke. You don't feel it instantly. But after 10 days of this, you feel tired, insecure, empty. Not because of your life, but because of what you consumed. 2. Toxic repetition. Songs, reels, drama. Music is powerful, but what are you repeating into your head? You broke my heart. I'm not good enough. Nobody loves me. I want to disappear. You hear these lyrics and say, it's just a song. But your brain doesn't understand just. It only understands what you feed it repeatedly. Repetition is programming. And most people are programming themselves to be depressed. On autoplay. 3. Mental diet, what you talk about daily. Your conversations shape your emotions. If every day you talk about what you hate, who betrayed you, why life is unfair, how everything's going wrong, then what are you feeding your brain? Negativity becomes your default language. Let me tell you a different kind of story. There was a glass of clear, pure water sitting on a table. It was peaceful, it was clean, it was balanced. One day, someone came and dropped 1 drop of black ink in it. The water changed a little, but still looked okay. Next day, another drop, then another, and another. Slowly, the water became darker. Not because it was evil, but because it was being fed poison, 1 drop at a time. This is your mind. Your mind is that glass of water. And the ink is the content you consume, the words you repeat, the people you surround yourself with, the notifications you wake up to, the videos you binge before sleeping. You didn't become negative overnight. You were being dripped with darkness, silently. How to stop feeding the enemy. Here's what to do starting today. Clean your feed like your fridge. You wouldn't eat rotten food. So why watch rotten content? Unfollow pages that make you feel less than. Mute people who only post fake perfection. Delete apps if needed. Your peace is more important than staying updated. Replace, don't resist. Don't just stop watching bad content. Replace it with something that builds you. Watch real growth stories. Listen to calming or healing audio. Read 1 page of a growth book. Listen to people who speak truth, not just noise. Morning and night detox. The first 30 minutes after waking and the last 30 minutes before sleep are when your mind is most programmable. Use that time wisely. Don't scroll. Don't open reels. Don't start your day with comparison or chaos. Instead, breathe. Write 3 things you're thankful for. Speak one powerful sentence to yourself. Today, I protect my mind. Your mission. Today, write this question. What 3 things am I feeding my mind that are hurting me? Be honest. Then ask, what will I feed my mind instead, starting now? Small changes, big transformation. Your mind is not broken. It's just been badly fed. You are not the darkness. You are the light that's been buried under years of mental noise. So stop feeding the enemy inside and start feeding your inner peace, inner strength, inner voice. Because your thoughts are seeds, and what you plant today will grow tomorrow. Stage 4. Clean your mental room daily. Let me ask you something simple. You brush your teeth every morning, right? You take a shower, change your clothes, maybe clean your room or wash the dishes. Because if you don't, your body smells, your home gets dirty, and you feel uncomfortable. But when was the last time you cleaned your mind? Not your Instagram, not your bookshelf, not your to-do list. I'm talking about the inside of your head, the mental space where you actually live. Because here's the truth. You don't live in your house. You live in your mind, 24 hours a day. And if you don't clean that space daily, you will be living in a home that feels heavy, anxious, noisy, painful, confusing. Even if your outside life looks fine, inside you feel suffocated. So today, we clean, not once, not when we feel depressed, not when we break down, but every single day, like brushing your soul. Let me take you deep. Let's break a myth. Negative thoughts don't only come from trauma, they come from accumulation. Just like dust settles on your furniture even if you don't open windows, mental dust collects in your mind from life itself. A stressful conversation, a decision you're avoiding, a deadline you're afraid of, a future event you're overthinking, a compliment you didn't believe, a comment that felt wrong but you ignored it, a fear that entered your heart quietly, a judgment you made about yourself this morning. You didn't choose this, but it landed, and now it's in your space. So if you don't clean it, it piles up. Here's what happens when people don't clean their mental space. Stress builds up in layers, but you ignore it. You feel more irritated than usual. Little things make you angry. You become emotionally sensitive. One sentence can break you. You feel tired without reason, because your mind is overloaded. You stop enjoying things, because your joy has no space to live. You start avoiding life, because everything feels like too much. And slowly, without realizing, you stop being you. You stop laughing loudly. You stop dancing freely. You stop speaking confidently. You stop trusting your ideas. You stop dreaming. Not because you're weak, not because you're lazy, but because your mental room is full of unprocessed emotion. Imagine a small room with 100 open cardboard boxes. Each box contains something from your mind. One has a painful memory. One has your unfinished goals. One has your financial stress. One has a conversation you're avoiding. One has your fear of rejection. One has a thought you had at 3 a.m. One has your guilt. One has your secret self-doubt. Now imagine trying to sit and relax in that room. You can't. There's no space to breathe. This is what your mind becomes when you never pause to clean it. Here are 6 powerful, fresh, non-repetitive daily practices to clean your mental room. They require no app, no therapist, no external help. Only you, your intention, and your inner awareness. 1. The thought shelf method. Mentally put thoughts aside. When your mind is overwhelmed, you don't need to solve every problem immediately. You just need to make space. So imagine your mind as a shelf. And when a thought keeps repeating, you gently say, "This doesn't need to be solved right now. I'll place it on the shelf. It'll wait." You're not ignoring the thought. You're giving it a home so it doesn't float around. This stops your mind from replaying the same thoughts over and over like a broken CD. 2. Temperature check, emotional awareness reset. Once a day, maybe at 4 p.m., pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Where do I feel it in my body? Why might I be feeling this? Even if the answer is, I don't know, you're still becoming aware. And awareness cleans confusion. Do this every day, like checking the weather before leaving home. You'll be shocked how much you've been holding in silence. 3. The one-word dump. You don't always need to write long journals. Sometimes just one word is enough. Try this. Before sleeping, write one word that describes your emotion today. Heavy, rushed, lonely, hopeful, frustrated. Doing this helps you identify your emotional clutter, because once you can name it, you can clean it. 4. 3-minute mental walkthrough. This is one of the most powerful cleansing tools. Almost no one uses it. Every evening, close your eyes and mentally walk through your entire day. See yourself waking up, walking to the bathroom. What were you thinking? What emotions did you feel during breakfast? Did someone say something that stuck in your mind? Where did your mood shift? This is not about overthinking. It's about noticing. Because when you notice, you release. When you name it, you drain it. Even 3 minutes of this can unload more emotional weight than hours of advice. 5. Speak to yourself like you're a child. Before bed, sit quietly and say one kind thing to yourself, as if you were speaking to a small, scared child. Say, "You did your best today. It's okay to feel tired. I'm proud of you for not giving up. You made it through. That's enough. You are safe now." Do this daily, and you will start healing your self-image. Because the most dangerous dirt in your mind is not fear, it's self-hatred. 6th micro-forgiveness exercise. Each day, choose one small thing to forgive. Someone who interrupted you. A past version of yourself. A mistake that still haunts you. A friend who didn't message back. A moment where you felt ignored. Say quietly, "I release you. I'm done carrying this. My peace matters more." You don't need an apology. You don't need closure. You just need to put it down and walk lighter. Pick any 3 of these practices and do them tonight before bed. Make it a ritual, like brushing your mind. Because when your mental room is clean, you sleep deeper, you speak softer, you focus sharper, you feel freer, you dream bigger. You're no longer controlled by chaos. You're in control of your space. You are not too sensitive. You are not overreacting. You are not broken. You are simply overcrowded. And when something is too full, even a feather can break it. So make cleaning your mind a daily ritual. Not when you collapse. Not when you cry. Not when life forces you. Do it before it's too late. Do it because you deserve clarity. Do it because peace is not a gift. It's a habit. Stage 5. Replace, don't fight. Let me start with this truth. You will never win a war by screaming at your enemy, and you will never win peace by screaming at your thoughts. And yet, That's what most people are doing. They say, I just want to stop thinking negatively. How do I shut off these thoughts? I'm tired of this voice in my head. So, what do? They fight. They try to block the thought. They say, stop thinking this. Why am I like this? I shouldn't feel this way. But the more they fight, the stronger the thought becomes. Why? Because you can't fight a thought with force. You can only win by replacing it. Let me explain everything in the deepest way possible. Why fighting negative thoughts never works. The moment you say, I don't want to think about this thought, your brain focuses more on that thought, because the brain doesn't hear don't. It only hears the subject. If I say, don't think about a pink elephant, you'll instantly imagine it. If you say, don't feel anxious, your mind starts scanning for all the reasons you're anxious. So when you try to fight a thought with more thought, you create a mental storm. Every time you argue with a negative thought, you're giving it energy. You're saying, this thought matters, it deserves attention, it has power. And it grows. So what's the solution? Don't fight the thought. Replace it, redirect it, rewire it. Like changing the radio station, like turning the page, like choosing a different road. Let's explore how. Imagine there's a radio in your room, and it's playing a horrible, depressing song. Lyrics like, you're a failure, you'll never be loved, you're too late, you're not enough. The volume is loud, it's hurting your ears, it's affecting your mood. What do? Do you scream at the radio? Do you beg it to stop? Do you cry in front of it? No, that would be pointless. You either change the station, lower the volume, turn it off, play your own music louder. This is how replacement works. You don't beg your brain to stop, you give it a new direction. Thoughts are like habits, and the best way to break a habit is to replace it with another one. Here's the secret. You can't erase a thought. You can only overwrite it. Your brain works like a chalkboard. If you write something painful on it, the only way to remove it is by writing over it with something better. Negative thought replacing thought. I always mess things up. I learn faster because I've failed before. No one cares about me. Someone loves me even if I forget. I'll never be successful. I haven't reached it yet, but I will. I'm too sensitive. I feel deeply, and that's a strength. What if I fail? What if I succeed? You're not lying to yourself. You're redirecting the spotlight. And when you repeat the replacement often enough, it becomes the default voice in your head. Imagine a large white wall, perfectly painted, but right in the center there's a small black hole. Most people walk past the wall and never notice it. But one person stops and stares. They can't stop looking at the hole. They ignore the beauty of the wall. They start thinking, why is there a hole? Will it get bigger? Did I do something to cause it? I hate this hole. Soon that small black hole becomes their entire world. But the hole never changed. Their focus did. This is how negative thoughts work. They're tiny holes in a wall of beauty. But if you focus on them long enough, they become your entire reality. You don't need to fix the hole. You need to step back and see the whole wall. That's what replacing thoughts does. It pulls you away from the hole and shows you the bigger picture again. These methods are not affirmations. They are replacement tools backed by real brain science and habit rewiring. The reversal technique. Flip the fear. When a scary or painful thought comes, ask, What's the opposite truth that could also be real? Example, I'll probably fail this interview. I might surprise myself and do better than I expect. You're not lying. You're giving your brain a new option to consider. That creates hope, and hope reduces fear. The so what method. Cut the drama. Many negative thoughts are dramatic. What if I say something wrong? What if I lose this chance? Instead of feeding the panic, say, so what if I do? Would I still be alive? Could I still grow? Would I still matter? This reduces the emotional weight and makes space for logic. The upgrade method, version 2.0 thinking. When a negative thought appears, imagine you're updating your brain's software. You're not deleting anything, just installing a better version. Original, I can't do this. Update, I'm figuring it out. Original, I'm not ready. Update, I'm becoming more ready every day. This makes your brain feel safe while moving forward. Write down the 3 most common negative thoughts you've had this week. Then write down one powerful replacement for each one. Put them on a sticky note. Say them every morning. And repeat them anytime the old thoughts try to come back. Because your brain believes what it hears often. Train it. Don't fight it. You were not born to live with a storm inside your head. But you cannot stop that storm by screaming at it. You can only change the weather by changing the forecast. That means replacing fear with possibility, replacing shame with growth, replacing doubt with progress. Because your mind is not broken. It's just been playing the same tape for too long. And now, it's time to change the music. Stage 6. Talk to yourself like someone you love. Let's begin with a painful question. If someone else talked to you the way you talk to yourself, would you still be friends with them? Think about it. What kind of words do you say to yourself when you fail, you make a mistake, you forget something, you feel tired, you cry, you get rejected? You don't say, "It's okay, you're human, you'll try again." No, you say, "You're so stupid. Why do you always mess things up? Nobody cares. You're such a burden. I hate myself sometimes. I'll never get it right." And the tragedy is, if someone else said that to you, even once, you'd probably walk away. But you say it to yourself, every day, and you can't walk away from your own mind. So what happens? You live inside a house where you're constantly verbally abused by your own voice. Most people have an inner critic, but for some, it becomes an inner bully. That voice does not guide. It attacks. It says, "You're always behind. You're not as good as them. You're weak. You're ugly. You're lazy. You deserve to be alone." Now imagine this scenario. A 7-year-old child comes to you. They say, "I made a mistake today. I feel bad about myself. I think I'm not good enough." Would you scream at them? Would you say, "You're an idiot. You'll never be anything. Nobody likes you"? Of course not. You would hug them. You would look into their eyes and say, "It's okay. We all make mistakes. You are still worthy. Let's try again tomorrow." So why don't you talk to yourself that way? Because somewhere along the way, you learn to treat yourself with cruelty instead of compassion. And that must change. Today. Imagine your mind is a garden, and your self-talk is the gardener. Every word you say to yourself is either planting a flower, pouring water, or cutting the roots. If the gardener keeps saying, "This plant is useless. It's never going to grow. I hate this plant. Why are you so slow?" then even the most beautiful flower will wither. But if the gardener says, "You're growing slowly, but you're growing," it's okay if today was tough. You don't have to bloom every day. I believe in you. Then even the weakest plant finds the courage to stand tall again. Your self-talk is the water, the sunlight, the air of your inner world. And how you speak to yourself decides whether you wither or rise. Let's be clear. Negative self-talk is not harmless. It creates real damage. It damages your confidence. It kills motivation. It creates shame. It breaks trust in yourself. It increases anxiety. It ruins relationships. It feeds depression. It makes you believe that you are the problem. And when you start to believe that you are broken, you stop trying to heal. You stop reaching for help. You stop believing in better. Not because better doesn't exist, but because your inner voice has convinced you that you don't deserve it. What if every time you made a mistake, instead of saying, "I'm so stupid," you said, "I made a mistake and I'm learning"? What if when you were tired, instead of saying, "I'm lazy," you said, "I've done so much. I need rest, not guilt"? What if when you felt jealous, instead of saying, "I'm such a bad person for feeling this," you said, "I'm human. I feel things. That's okay"? This is not about lying to yourself. It's about speaking to yourself with the same kindness you give to everyone else. How to start talking to yourself with love. 5 life-changing practices. 1. Give your inner voice a name. Seriously. Name it. Why? Because when you say, "I think I'm a failure," you're giving your inner critic 100% credibility. But if you name it Negative Nancy or Doubt Dan, you separate your identity from the voice. You say, "Oh, that's just Nancy again. She always shows up when I try something new." It sounds silly, but it gives you power and perspective. You stop becoming the voice. You become the listener, and the listener always has a choice. 2. The best friend technique. When you feel down, ask yourself, if my best friend was feeling this way, what would I say to them? Then say that to yourself, out loud. You'll be shocked how loving your voice becomes when it's not directed at you. 3. The mirror moment. Stand in front of a mirror for 2 minutes every morning. Look into your own eyes, not to judge your skin or hair, but to say 3 things. I'm trying. I'm still here. I forgive you. Do this every day, not for motivation, but for healing. Because your own reflection has been waiting years to hear those words from you. 4. Rewrite the sentence. Take any cruel sentence you say often and rewrite it. For example, cruel thought, loving rewrite. You're a burden. Your feelings matter too. You're so dramatic. You're allowed to feel deeply. You're always messing up. You're learning like everyone else. Nobody wants you. You're still learning how to love and be loved. You're weak. You're carrying so much and still going. Print it, post it, say it. Your inner child is still listening. 5. Forgive yourself daily. Yes, daily. Not once a year. Not once when you make a big mistake. Every single day, before you sleep, whatever I did wrong today, I forgive myself. Whatever I said, forgot, overreacted to, I'm still learning. I will not carry this shame into tomorrow. Because guilt does not make you grow. Grace does. Sit alone. Quiet. Just you. Put your hand on your heart and say this softly. I'm sorry I've been so cruel to you. You didn't deserve that voice. From today, I will talk to you like someone I love. Let the tears fall if they come. You're not weak. You're reconnecting. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be fearless. You don't need to have it all together. But you need to start being kind to yourself. Because the world is already full of people ready to judge you, criticize you, and misunderstand you. Don't join them. Be the one voice in your life that says, you are still worthy, even now, especially now. Stage 7. Cut off the hidden triggers. Triggers aren't always loud. They're not always dramatic. They don't always knock and say, hey, I'm here to ruin your peace. Sometimes they're soft. Sometimes they feel like comfort, but they pull you back into the old version of you, the version who was scared, the version who doubted, the version who lived in fear. Imagine you live in a room with a very soft ticking clock. Tick, tick, tick. You get used to the sound. You don't notice it anymore. But the ticking is always there. It's just background noise. Now one day you finally remove that clock. You sit in silence. And for the first time you realize, oh my God, I've been living with that noise for years. This is exactly what emotional triggers are like. You don't notice them anymore, but they're there, ticking in the background of your life. A certain person's presence, a toxic group chat, a smell, a routine, a ringtone, a hairstyle, a habit, a place, a social obligation, a monthly reminder, even your bedroom setup. You wonder why you feel anxious. But you're still sleeping next to a memory of the worst version of you. You're still keeping open the door that trauma used to walk through. This is where people make the biggest mistake. They think, I shouldn't have to cut people off. That's harsh. I should be stronger than this. It's not fair to avoid everything that makes me uncomfortable. But listen closely. Healing is not about proving how strong you are. Healing is about protecting your energy so you don't keep bleeding internally. If a wound is fresh, you don't go running through a dusty field. You bandage it. You give it time. You avoid what could infect it. What you might need to cut off. The nice but draining friend. They don't insult you. They don't attack you. But every time you talk, you leave feeling smaller. They subtly compete. They dismiss your emotions. They always bring up your past. Let them go. The unspoken expectations. The image in your head that says, I should be doing better by now. I should be more successful. I should be married. I should be happy. That voice isn't motivation. It's a disguised mental whip. Cut it off. Not your dreams. Just your timeline. Your emotional home. Some people live in anger, not because they like it, but because it's familiar. Some live in sadness, some in fear, some in guilt. It's what they know. It's where they return every time something goes wrong. You need to build a new emotional home. Start asking, what emotion do I default to when I'm overwhelmed? Then ask, who taught me that emotion was normal? You'll often find it wasn't even yours. It was passed down, given to you. You were just renting it for so long, you forgot you could move out. Write a list called, Things That Silently Pull Me Back into Darkness. Then write 3 columns. What is it? Why does it affect me? What will I do to protect myself from it? Don't feel guilty. This isn't rejection. It's self-respect. You can't become the next version of you if you keep entertaining the people, patterns, and places that made you question your worth. You're not weak for needing space. You're wise for choosing peace over pride. You don't owe the past another visit. You owe your future a better foundation. If a plant isn't growing, you don't blame the seed. You change the environment. You protect what's blooming. And now that you've done the work of removing the darkness, it's time to do the most powerful thing of all. Turn your pain into power. Stage 8. Turn pain into power. Let's end this series with the most emotional and unforgettable stage. Because if you're watching this, you've been through something. You've cried quietly. You've questioned your value. You've battled storms no one saw. You've tried to be strong for everyone else, even when you were breaking inside. But now, it's time to take everything you've survived and use it. You've been told, let it go. Move on. Forget about it. Don't think about the past. But healing doesn't mean forgetting. Healing means finding meaning inside what broke you. It means saying, that hurt me, but I'm still standing. And I will build something powerful from this. Pain doesn't have to be the villain of your story. Pain can become the starting point of your transformation. There's a beautiful Japanese art called kintsugi. When a ceramic bowl breaks, they don't throw it away. They don't try to hide the cracks. Instead, they repair it using gold. Yes, real gold. They fill the cracks with golden lacquer. So now, the bowl is more valuable, more beautiful, and stronger because it was broken. Your pain is the gold. Every tear you've cried, every lonely night, every betrayal, every fear, every fall. If you let it, that pain can become your wisdom, your strength, your story, your mission. How to turn pain into power. 4 life-altering shifts. 1. Don't ask, why me? Ask what now? You may never get the full answer to why life hurt you the way it did, but you always have the choice to ask, now that I've been through this, who do I want to become? Pain becomes power when you stop looking for revenge and start looking for rebirth. 2. Transform the emotion into expression. Every emotion is energy, and energy can't be destroyed, but it can be redirected. Turn anxiety into art, loneliness into leadership, anger into boundaries, sadness into storytelling, fear into fuel. The world doesn't need more perfect people. The world needs people who say, here's my scar, and here's what I did with it. 3. Use your pain to help one other person. If you feel stuck, lost, confused, go help one person who's feeling what you once felt. You don't need a degree. You don't need a platform. You don't need a solution. You just need to say, I've been there too, and I see you. That moment of connection, that's healing, for you and for them. Pain multiplies in silence, but it dissolves in shared humanity. 4. Build your identity around your survival, not your suffering. Stop saying, I was broken. Start saying, I'm rebuilding. Don't say, they ruined me. Say, I rebuilt myself. Because if pain is a fire, you are the gold that survived the flame. You didn't come this far to just feel better. You came this far to transform. This is not just a video about how to stop negative thoughts. This is a reintroduction to your power. Everything you've been through has been shaping you, not to destroy you, but to prepare you. So here's your final message. You are not your pain. You are not your past. You are not your thoughts. You are the power that rises in the middle of all three and chooses to become something greater. This is your story now, your chapter, your healing, your time. So now you've reached the end. Not the end of the video, but the end of a version of you that didn't know better. The version of you that thought, maybe I'll never heal. Maybe I'll never be free. Maybe this is just who I am. But now you know something different. You've seen the enemy. You've studied the patterns. You've cleaned the pain. You've changed the voice inside. You've built strength. You've protected your energy. And you've taken the hardest thing in your life and started turning it into your power. That is not a small thing. That is transformation. That is courage. That is a new life beginning. Right now. And if nobody told you this today, let me say it clearly. I am proud of you. Not because you're perfect, but because you showed up, broken, scared, tired, unsure, and still tried, still listened, still stayed till the end. That means you're ready. Your thoughts do not control you. You control what thoughts are allowed to stay. You control your healing. You control your pace. You control your story. And if you keep showing up like you did today, your life will never be the same again. Because small steps, repeated with love and honesty, become powerful lives. You are already on the way. If this video touched your heart, if it made you feel seen, understood, stronger, then I invite you to do one simple thing. Subscribe, so you can keep learning, keep growing, and keep healing. Because this channel is not just about videos, it's about transformation. It's about turning English learning into emotional strength, and turning emotional strength into a better life. We speak slowly, clearly, deeply. So even if you're still learning English, you'll never feel lost here. Here, you'll be understood. So subscribe, turn on the bell, and join this journey. You belong here. And this is just the beginning. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying. Thank you for fighting. I believe in you. Now go and become the person you were always